man in the other house, I feel like the woman shouldn't pay for anything. I'll take care of everything. I don't need her money. But my problem is, just because I'm younger than Falyn does not mean that she can disrespect me. I will get my respect, or I will believe it. Like,
hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Listen, we're talking to you guys about the question, she don't respect mean, so she won't respect you. Okay, the mean, I put the mean because if you don't respect mean, the me is me. But if she doesn't respect you, if she doesn't respect men, she ain't gonna respect you. And that's the reality of this situation, right? When people have disrespect in their heart, it's usually contempt, and contempt is anger plus disgust, and it's about not respecting the authority, the rule, or respecting the sovereignty of somebody's boundaries. You belittle you belittle them and how you see them and how you view them. And you guys hear me say this all the time. Your perception is guided by your attitude, and your attitude is guided by your belief, and your belief is guided by your experiences. Falyn has said and told us in upper episodes how for her, she has experienced men that have not been respectful, that have treated her badly, that have broken her own boundaries. And that's the reality of life. Women that have a disdain for men in general, who then mistreat their actual men in a relationship, is coming from a bad experience. You have been unprotected, unloved, uncared for. This is not an excuse. It's only an explanation for the behavior, which then, when you're unprotected, unloved, and uncared for, you transfer that to a belief that, you know what, for you personally, then if they don't respect you and they don't care for you, you're not going to care for them. Right. And then that leads to your attitude towards men, because now you have a belief that you don't, but you know, that you're not going to have this situation. Your attitude is going to be, well, I don't care. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. I can only depend on me. And you know what? If you're here or not, it's up to you, but I'm going to get mine at the end of the day, right? And that affects then your perception on when somebody who comes in, like this gentleman here, who is your friend first, as you guys have said, and then he's 23, a couple years younger than you, but is paying all the bills in the household, you're going to say you're going to treat him badly. And you're going to treat him badly because you have a disdain for men, and he is what? A man. So we're going to talk a little bit more about it in depth, and we're going to go deeper. If you need to, we want you to like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification to go uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the middle rows. You got the middle rows. All that note at the end was bad, but don't worry about that. Yeah, don't worry about that. Okay, all right. Respect the thing. You get me? All right, cool. When we talk about respect, the word respect, when we talk about the word respect, what we're really saying is having an esteem and having a value for somebody, right? And something, right? But when you have a disrespect, you think lowly of, and you have a low esteem, and you also act in an insulting way towards the particular thing or the person. So you can be rude, impolite, and offensive. And what he has discovered is her attitude is a problem on this show. And whenever he disagrees with her, her attitude comes out and it becomes impolite, rude, and offensive. This is what he was describing. Now, she's not going to respect you because she doesn't respect men, because her experiences of men has been so negative. And what she's going to require from him, and I know some people are going to be out there going, saying, you know, oh, if he just becomes that man that, you know, that loves, cares, and serves her and just creates that safe environment, she's going to grow into that woman. No, because she's got deep wounds. Now, what you're talking about is an exception, not the rule. Most people will not grow better because the actual reality is there are deep wounds. And all it will be is that I only need to make one mistake for you to be re-triggered again, to you to take me out, to go angry at me again, or have an attitude or disrespect me again. So long as I'm playing ball according to what you like, you're going to be okay. But the moment I change the script or flip the script in any particular way where you can't control, you're going to feel some type of way. So your disdain for men, I think people need to look at their own experiences. What is your experience? And you're going to find out the reason why you feel the way you do towards the man that you are with right now, why you're apathetic, or why you're rude, or why you got stressed at him doing certain things, or why you don't like certain things. Like sometimes we see women, I was on our live, we've spoken about it, where, you know, her man was studying for school or whatever. And, you know, hey, like she said, she saw him on the couch and she was looking at him in some way. Now, she didn't say anything, but in her mind, she was like thinking to herself, don't you have some studying to do? right? Because her idea of her mind was she expected him to be doing something because you're not at where you're supposed to be. So you can't have grace and patience for people because your attitude or what you perceive about them, okay, is based on what you experience from the opposite sex and gender, and that is informing your belief, which is belief means that the fact, accepting that the fact is true. So your experience and your belief go together. Right? What you saw and what you heard is now affecting your belief as fact. So if you think all men cheat, it's because you saw it. It's because you've heard it. And you haven't seen anything different to counteract what you've seen and what you've heard. So in this instance with Falyn and Jalyn, he's struggling to get the respect in the relationship because she sees men in a particular way. And age is also a big factor in why she feels the way she does. In fact, we can actually play a clip. Hopefully I can get the right clip. Hopefully I got the right place that she said it.
He is 23. What if this relationship doesn't work? I may be too old for him.
So now the age factor, of course, is coming into play, and she may feel like she's too old for him. No, it's this, not that. It's your attitude towards him. He's never made an issue about your age per se, but he has mentioned the fact that you're not giving me my respect because of my age. So clearly both of these people feel some type of way about the age situation in regards to the fact that he feels like he's not being respected because of his age. And she feels that because of his age, she may be too old for him. And the reality is, due to the insecurities on both ends, what's happening is there is a behavior that is not befitting of respect in either in his direction that he feels like, according to what he feels. Okay. And so he hasn't spent time with her and has been avoiding spending time with her because he feels like he's being disrespected. And I think on her end, she reads him not spending time with her as him dismissing her and not wanting to be with her and considering it an intentional act to stay away. But the reality is they're not talking. The reality is, if we go background, his mother was abused, and so just like she suffered through abuse on a physical, emotional, and sexual level, he's also suffered abuse in terms of watching his mother go through something. Now, due to that, it has muted his voice. So when she's doing what she's doing, rather than him speaking up so that he can set a boundary so that you can respect it, he doesn't do that. He avoids you. And then and rather than you maybe asking what's going on and trying to understand what's happening, you're just interpreting it too as, well, he doesn't like me, he doesn't want me. And so now what we're doing is we're further drawing ourselves away. But the beginning starts from the attitude, and the attitude is coming from the belief and coming from the experiences. So if you've experienced men in a particular way, you might be showing up to men in a particular way, right? When I talk about masculine women, what I mean by that is women that have been uncovered and unprotected and have to be made hyper independent due to circumstances. So when you come to the foreground, you show up as a masculine woman. And I mean that in terms of you not as your walls are very high and your guard is very up because of what you've experienced. And due to your experience, you believe that you can't rely on somebody. And therefore, your attitude is, I need nobody. And since that's your attitude, how you choose your men is the ones that I can control, because I can't trust the one that I can't control. Because if I do, he may what? He may now do something that relates back to the belief. Look, that's what's happening with Jalyn and Falyn as well, right? So her belief system is what's affecting things. And until there's a change of experience, until we start digging back and going through her experiences and saying, hey, look, that doesn't have to be your experience right now. That doesn't have to be what you experience right now. It's different. You're in a different ball game. You're with your man who you love and you trust and you care about. He loves you. He trusts you. He cares about you. And then that will change the attitude and that will change the behavior. But that usually requires a little bit of counseling. So she ain't gonna respect him. If she doesn't respect men, if she doesn't change that experience, if she doesn't if she doesn't change that belief, because experience is done, you can't change that. But we can add new experiences that can begin to speak so that her thought process will change and her belief will change. Then she can actually begin to respect his contribution towards a relationship. Otherwise, she will always be waiting for the opportunity to disrespect him because he will feel like his contribution is very little. That's the disrespect and where it's coming from. Like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of uploads. We appreciate you guys. Stay locked and stay